Okay.
Does that mean that, I mean, like, as far as their risks are concerned, does that not having a lot of risks, what if those people are like the most faithful people to Allah? Because they only have this little bit versus people who may have more who are not as faithful. I'm going to give an example of when it's time to pray. You know, like people who may not have a television or, you know, lights or whatever the case may be, those people may spend more time reading Quran, doing good deeds, all those other things. But people who have like electronic devices and these other things, their attention could tend to go towards these other things. And so my question is a question of risk. Is the person with the least amount of worldly things, could they have a higher risk in a different kind of way? Because they may have a different kind of relationship with Allah where they worship Allah all the time. Or is it based on like kind of dollars and cents and things, material things?
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The question was about risk and the people who don't apparently haven't been blessed with an abundance of wealth. Is there something connected to that or something with that? And she made an example of the people not having a lot in the dunya, that they actually have more time for ibadah and worship and talking about ilm and things like that. Whereas the people who have things, gadgets, electronic devices, social media and things like this, access to the internet, that they spend more time doing those things than they do worshiping Allah and so on and so forth. Is that okay? Well, as it relates to risk, then Allah is Al-Razzaq. Allah is the one who provides. And the risk is not just in material things or in wealth, but it's in health, it's in longevity, it's even in acceptance by the people. You know what I mean? And people not having worldly things, you alluded to the fact that this could actually be a ni'mah, a blessing. Because whenever a person suffers in this life for the sake of Allah, then you have to believe that his reward in the hereafter is going to be great as a result of that suffering. So this person could be actually piling up for the next life. So he can have something in the next life that's greater than anything that we can imagine in this life. While we're busy chasing the dunya, hustling, bustling, trying to get this, trying to get that, the latest trends, the latest clothes. While we're trying to do all of these things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving it to someone else in another way. So if your aspiration, your only desire is for dunya, then you may only get dunya. And we also don't know, because remember when we mentioned that the angel comes and he, mentions the 4 things to the fetus: his risk, his lifespan, his actions, the blessed, the wretched. We don't know what's going to happen. That this person who hasn't been given an abundance of anything could all of a sudden become wealthy near the end of his life. Whereas the person who's had so much for so long could die penniless. And we've seen that too, right? So he can lose everything he has in the dunya and then still lose what he has in the hereafter. So not having access to all of those things that you mentioned is also a blessing. It helps a person. It makes it easier for a person. Like we mentioned before, me, myself, and Allah knows best. If I had more, then I would be more grateful and more thankful, and it would allow me to worship Allah more. Just because I wouldn't have to worry about some of the things that I have to worry about, which is why a lot of us try to go after the dunya. Because Allah created this dunya for us to work and to provide for our families and ourselves and the community, right? We can't do that sitting on our backsides. But the hustle and bustle takes us away from, some of the things, even though we should make time and we should allot certain time, when people spend time on these devices and on this, whatever it is that they do, put some of that time and save some of that time for your Lord, subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you spend an hour on social media, you should be at least spending an hour reading Quran and Hadith, right? At least. Because this is going to reward you. This is going to get you closer to Allah, and this is probably going to take you further away, right? So the provisions also, we've heard the saying, we've probably said it ourselves, you can't miss what you've never had. So some people don't even understand or know what it's like to have, to be affluent. You know what I mean? Having one pair of shoes in some places might make this person right in the eyesight of the people. He had one pair of shoes that he probably didn't get new. Whereas this might be a whole family that may have to share one pair of shoes. You can't leave the house today because I got to wear the shoes today. So Allah knows best, but ultimately the risk is in the hands of Allah. Allah provides what? For whom He wills. I guess that's it for the questions.
I got a quick question.
Okay.
Today I noticed that online you have posted something about Arabic, like basically it's the Muslim's responsibility to make sure that they can be able to read Arabic, to read the Quran. I'm paraphrasing. It's like a post that you put.
Okay.
And I wanted to know when non-Arabic speakers are looking for like an Arabic school or Arabic teacher or whatever, what credentials are these people supposed to have? Because I noticed that like on social media, you see a lot of different Quran schools and this school and that school. What is it? Is there a certain credential that they're supposed to have to be able to teach the Arabic? Quranic.
Well, first and foremost, it all depends on who you are. The question was, I posted something about the importance of learning the Arabic language in order to understand the Quran. And so the question was about when a person is looking for an Arabic teacher, they see a lot of things online and stuff like that. Is there a certain criteria that needs to be met? Should we be looking for certain credentials and stuff like that? So what is it that we should be looking for in a teacher? Then I would say that a person has to do what they're capable of doing first and foremost. Everyone can't afford to travel, to learn, to study. Abroad, some people can't even really afford to travel locally. We have people who can't get to the masjid because they don't have transportation. They live far away. They can't catch an Uber. They don't got no money. Stuff like that. Some people can't pick them up because of time. People haven't worked, so it's difficult. So that makes things difficult, but alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought the ilm near. So it's easier because of online and things like that. But I would say it's better to find someone that you can learn from directly. And all you have to do really is ask about that person. If this person is a teacher that's teaching a curriculum, then someone should know this person. This person should have some type of credentials, right? If a person is just helping you out around the masjid or something like that, then there are people in the community who can tell you whether or not this person has the ability to teach. No one should be teaching inside of the masjid, first and foremost, without the permission of the administration. And the administration are the people who pretty much know the people. And we know if you come to the administration and say, well, brother such and such, said he was going to help me, is that okay? Or sister such and such said that she was going to help me, is that okay? Then the administrator, the imam, the teacher, whoever, he can say, okay, yeah, you can sit with this person, but only learn this. Or if you're going to teach, only teach this, right? So that you don't go beyond, your pay grade, and this person is not expecting too much more, and you don't let Shaitan come and pump you up and have you thinking that because now we're playing with, the speech of Allah and stuff like that. And we should be trying to learn, so that we can teach, right? So you do whatever is capable, whatever you're capable of doing. If you can afford a teacher, you can afford to travel, you can afford a private, something like that, then that'd be better. Someone whose credentials are verified, who not only knows, but knows how to teach. Because you got a lot of people who know, but can't teach. And you got a lot of people who can teach, but don't really know. So you got to be able to find that person who has that balance. And like I say, ask the people around you, Ask the people of knowledge. Ask the people of knowledge when you don't know. So if you want to sit with somebody, or if you want to sit down and teach somebody, then humble yourself, go to the imam or whoever is the learned person in the community and say, I would like to help this brother out, or I would like to help this sister out. What would you suggest? And the imam might have you recite. You want to teach somebody Al-Fatiha? Let me hear you recite Al-Fatiha. Let me make sure you know what you're doing. You should want to know. You don't want to sit down teaching somebody incorrectly. Then they go teach someone incorrectly, and then everybody is learning incorrectly, and then you have to carry the weight of that on your shoulders when you really didn't have to do that, So Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." Relate something from me if it is but one verse. But if you're going to give somebody that one verse, you better make sure you understand that verse, right? You don't want to be sending nobody away with some warped interpretation of what you thought you knew, right? So, I think that's probably best.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No more questions online? Check that.
Can I find out what I saw sisters with?
Say that again?
The three principles.
You said, can you what?
Can I get one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got one?
Got one right here. Just pulled it off the desk, off the table.
That's a huge copy. No, just kidding.
You can get them.
I just want to grab it.
Can you have me one? I didn't. I gave mine to. Oh, thank you. You want to take it with you? This other one?
Does someone else want it?
I have one.
Okay, I don't see any more questions. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.